Hello everyone, Damien here. It's been 2 years since my last video on this channel, and I've decided that I'm going to start posting again. It's been something that I had planned for a while, but I really didn't feel that I was in the space and the heart space as well as the physical space for me to be able to share in that way again. So now I am back, and this topic, the topic of this video is big steps towards real change. So I've narrowed it down to 3 major steps that I've taken in the last 2 years to completely transform my, one moment I'm curled up in a ball, like freaking out, like really, really stressed and just burdened to the core, right? So now I'm standing in front of the camera, I'm smiling, everything is okay, and I'm in a great space. Okay, so how did I get here? What has happened? Well, first thing I did was I built an e-bike. Now, I know that doesn't seem like that would be a very transformational step, but it was actually huge, and it's been crucial to me being where I am now. So, as you saw in one of my last videos, was that red motorcycle, which was actually ultimately supposed to be for the girl I was dating at the time, but it was like something for me to tinker with. But that still didn't solve my other main problem, which was, or the main reason why I was looking for an alternative was that I was driving all the time for work and lots of times just like stuck in traffic for a really long time. So I knew like a motorcycle, even though I love them and it kind of gives you that like freedom of the air type deal, you're still bound by traffic. So that's what ultimately led me to building an e-bike. So I did that, and it was just life-changing from the like first moment that I touched the throttle, and it has been that way ever since. I've traveled over 9,000 miles since February of 2015, and I've loved every single journey, even when I've gotten hit by a car. But that's another story. So yeah, that was the main step. And, you can see how that could be useful in the present with what we're dealing with Standing Rock and the, DAPL. So I'm not saying that anybody needs to move away from oil. I'm not standing here trying to suggest that that you're in the wrong for driving a car. I know that that's a process to move away from oil, and the quickest way that I found was to, build an e-bike for transportation to and from work. And then it just evolved into something that I decided to use as my sole means of transportation because I just love it. It's like the most fun. It's like riding downhill all the time. It's really fun. But yeah, I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody for using oil or using cars. I mean, everyone still uses that, and that's kind of my point is it's a process, and that's one of the steps that I've taken to not only solve my issues that I've kind of had with thoughts about oil use, but also it solved my it transformed the worst 2 hours of my day to like the absolute best 2 hours of my day. So a complete 180. So that's the first thing. So the second thing was the really crazy, horrible change that I had to make in my life, and that was related to my job. So I've been in the same job for the last 7 years, but as of my last video, it's been 5 years. And it's taken about 1.5 years for me to get through that process of quitting. Like, that's how long it's taken. Because I've had to chase down a lot of paths to the root of issues that I've, faced in my life, and where they've come from, in order to understand where I am, and so that way I can change those aspects of my life. And I found that it was deeply rooted in my work experience, which is, I was a director of production, a couple properties, doing corporate production work, and it was just really stressful. And I was constantly on call, and I was working 50 to 60 hours a week, and as well as answering emails and phone calls on my days off. And it was every time the phone rang, I knew it was going to be work related, and that's just really stressful. It's really yes, I had security, yes, I had a salary and benefits, but here I am. I'm smiling. I'm no longer a director of a production company. I actually still technically work for the company that I was working for, but I did have to quit. And I was sitting in a meeting. This is about a year and a half ago. And I just lost it internally. Like externally, I probably looked no different, but internally, I lost it. I snapped. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. So, and it wasn't a bad job. It's just the stress. It's just not me. Like, I am a PJs person, I'm a very creative person, and, stuck in the corporate world is just soul crushing to me. And I am still in that job, so you wonder, okay, well, why, how is everything so different if you're still in the same job? Well, I don't have to do any of the suit stuff anymore. Like now I'm just a technician. I don't have to answer tons of emails and phone calls and do all that. I just help produce, events. So, and do, tinker with gadgets and technology and things. And that's what I do now, which is the part of my job that I really liked in the first place. That's why I got into that industry. So, now I'm doing freelance work, and I'm part-time at the same company that I was, a lead technician, I guess we'll call it. And it's improved my life 1,000-fold but I had to make that choice. I had to quit. I had to get out. There was no possible way for me to become happier in that path that I was traveling. So sometimes you just have to step off the train and you switch trains. And when people talk about jumping ship and jumping off trains and the train headed to our plastic world that obviously we are struggling with, trying to cope with, is heading, and we know where it's going, or we know what ride it's going to take us through at crazy land, right? And we feel that to our core. So we know we don't necessarily know where that's going to lead, but we know that it's going to be a really shitty ride, right? If we choose that. But you can simply step off onto the next, not even the next train. That would be kind of difficult, actually, physically speaking. But let's say you stepped off, at the train station, and you don't have to necessarily know where you want to go, right? You're at the train station, you're on physical ground, you're comfortable, and you can just sit there until you decide where you want to go. And when I quit, it was a long preparation. I was on the train, at the, probably so crazy. I was whittling wood, to make little fires, because I was in survival mode. You know what I mean? Total, oh my God, I have to get out. I need to figure out what I'm going to do, and being just terrified, because that was one of the hardest things I had to do. And that goes back to a lot of, self-confidence and self-worth issues from when I was a kid. So that's kind of what I mean about having to, go into my roots and really see what was going on. So, yeah, that was step 2. And the third one has been being more mindful of what I'm putting into my body and how I'm putting those things into my body, be that food or thoughts or emotions or letting people take advantage of me or my own thoughts about myself. And that is a really delicate journey that I think we need time to take. We have to take our own time. And that's also what I've been on, trying to repair a lot of the damage that I've sort of incurred, taking the crazy road. I chose that road a long time ago. And yes, you're going to get spit out the other end, like really, really battered, but I can't say that I would go back and not do this again, because that's where I am now, as I feel okay with where I am and the choices that I've made. And I've had to make some very big ones to get here. And that's why I'm back. That's why I'm going to make videos again. I feel like I can share again. And, using my experiences and being able to share those, hopefully you will see some inspiration, or it would, as I continue, hopefully being able to share with people. I did create a Facebook page quite a while ago, so it will be live once this video goes live. Let's make it a beautiful place, No bad stuff. I don't want to know about the bad things happening in the news. We don't need to know about, what country is getting, hurt by another country. Let's keep things beautiful. Let's not argue. Let's just show beautiful things, reveal light. There's plenty of places to go find the darkness. We can go there, and we need strength, right? We need nourishment. We need beauty and inspiration and love in order to fuel ourselves to be able to go into the darkness and transmute that into light. So join me on my journey if you would, and subscribe if you want to. Regardless, have a beautiful day, and blessed be.